Hi everybody, I want to share something that I know you're going to appreciate and you're going to use this and apply this for the rest of your life in all areas of your life. But starting with Jiu-Jitsu, let's talk right now about what is the objective in Jiu-Jitsu. And I wrote right here, the objective is survival. Some might disagree, but if you asked Eddie Gracie or Carlos Gracie, it was an art of self-defense and it's an art of survival. So that is the objective. Now, I've broken down it could be the fight, the street fight, the MMA match, the grappling between friends into, 4 steps. In any given fight, street fight, MMA fight, or grapple, you can use one of these steps, 2, 3, 4, as many as you need. So, starting with the first step, defend, okay? Obviously, if you get attacked by somebody, the number one priority is to defend whatever they have throwing your way. Whatever they're attacking you with, you want to stop that. When you can, you want to escape the position of inferiority. You want to find your way out and get on top. Once you're on top, not only do you, of course, you establish, and you want to maintain control. Get a good position and hold it. And then when the time is right and the opportunity is there, we take the submission. So let's break down the defend step into 3 parts. If my brother wants to catch me in a rear naked choke, if Henry wants to choke me, I need to defend him from taking my back, from getting my back. And I call that the big position. So if I can keep him from taking my back, I've defended the big position, the big threat. Once he takes my back, now it's about him keeping his arms away from my neck. Okay, if his arm gets under my chin around my neck, then I've lost the second battle, the small position battle. So it's a lot of hand fighting, of course. Whereas the first one was more about positional awareness and not giving your back. And then finally, if I get deep into a choke where he can begin to apply pressure, there are defensive measures and there's things to do when you're, we could say, in deep trouble. So these are the 3 steps. And of course, we like to do mainly big position and small position defense. You want to defend earlier, right? Sooner is better than later. Now moving to escape. When escaping, you can, first you want to accept your opponent's mistake. People will make mistakes when controlling you. Opportunities will be given to you. And when the opportunity is given, you take it. So the best escape happens, it's a very clean escape, where somebody is attacking you and they're hugging your neck, and because they're hugging your neck, they're giving you a limb, and now they're off balance, you roll them off the mount. So accepting people's mistakes is best. If there is no, maybe there's a half mistake made, right? Now you need to create. Create still kind of comes back to accept. So you have to maybe use 2 or 3 techniques. A combination of techniques is creating your escape. It's not just one anymore. And then finally is force. If Henner is holding me down in the side mount, or somebody in the street fight is controlling me in the side mount, and I need to get up, I need to get out, but they're holding very, very tight, which is very rare, right? That someone in the street fight would do that. Henner holding me very tight, or some other black belts is more likely. So if somebody's holding me very tight and I have to get out, or I really want to get out, I might need to force my way out. And how do you force your way out? It's not just by going crazy. It's by using, information that you've gathered over the years. And I know that if somebody's hugging my neck, or if somebody's knees are very tight, depending on what they're doing, I know where they're weakest. Even though I don't see a big opportunity, I need to create an opportunity. And I do that by using some strength, some explosiveness. And when they react to my big move, now they've given me 20, 25% of an opportunity, and then I go there with my technique to find my way out. So forcing, I don't like to do too often, but it might be necessary. Control. Now that we've escaped, we have found ourselves in the top position. When you're on top, I see control broken down in these 3 parts. You can control somebody by being very tight, very strong, lots of holding, and just very, I want to say it's a closed, so I wrote closed control. Versus controlling somebody using more of your body weight, using more just pressure and body positioning. We can call it more open, less attached, and more about using your body weight. And then finally, dynamic control, controlling somebody using submissions, using strikes or movement. And when you control like this, it's almost like your offense becomes your control. Now, is it a very committed offense? Possibly. But in many cases, just the fact that you're moving towards attacking in some way, the bottom person, they can't even begin to do their escape because they're somewhat under fire. So they hesitate to escape because of your dynamic control or your attacks. Finally, submit. It's time to submit. When you're going to submit somebody, same as escape, the best way to submit somebody is to be controlling, and when that person, in their desire to get out of the mount or their panic, their frustration, they really want to escape the mount or the side mount, they make a very big mistake. Then you accept their mistake. So here's a question for you guys. If you roll with somebody for 2, 3, 4 minutes and they can't submit you, you defend all their attacks, and then you escape their control. They can't hold you down. Once you escape their control, so now it's been 2.5, 3 minutes. At the 4th minute, you find yourself on top of them. You hold them down for a whole minute, 1.5 minutes. They're tired. What just happened? You beat them 3 times. You beat them here. They couldn't beat you. They couldn't hold you down. And now they can't escape. So the question is, how likely is it that they do something reckless because they're emotional and they believe that they have to escape and that they make a very big mistake? How likely is that? It's very likely. And all you have to do is be present enough to accept it and take it when it's given. Now, sometimes it's not given. Oftentimes when you're rolling with people, training partners that are experienced, that have, higher belts in Jiu-Jitsu, they know you very well, they don't just make these obvious mistakes. So now we have to be a little creative and we have to create. So a combination of attacks or movements to create overreaction in our training partner. And when they overreact, then we go back to accepting the mistake that they made. Finally, forcing. This one, maybe in a street fight, but generally in training, do you have to force a submission? Like, do you drive your knee in someone's chest to make them tap out, right? These are things that I don't want to say that they lack skill or technique, because the ability to find that is good, it's valuable, but maybe it's a little bit forcing the submission or getting an arm lock and like muscling their arm out of place. It's okay, it's not sustainable, right? You can't do that for the rest of your life. You can't do it to everybody. So forcing submissions, I tend not to do too much. But if your life's on the line and you're in a fight for your life, you do whatever it takes to neutralize the threat, and that might mean forcing one day. Okay, so talking about all of these right here, there's this feeling that I have is that people believe, or at least they say that, Jiu-Jitsu is self-defense, it's about survival. But as much as they're saying that, they don't walk the walk. Now, I want to discuss a few of the most common questions that I see associated to these things, right? Or that I've placed in these categories, these subcategories. And one is about this right here, right? People often ask the question, how do I escape when somebody has me in a fully locked triangle? How do I escape when somebody has me in a fully locked guillotine? Okay? When somebody asks that question, what is that telling me? It's telling me a few things. One, it tells me that they are impatient, right? And they're always in a hurry to get out from the inferior positions. It's also telling me that they haven't invested time in defending the early threat, or the small hand fightings that go down in defending submissions. So this question, remember this, right? How do I escape the fully locked submission? Another one, when it comes to escaping, people want to know how to escape when they're being controlled. When somebody has amazing control, how do I escape? So it's going back to this. They feel like they're forcing their way out. They want to get out when they want to get out and not when they can get out. But more importantly, this right here, control. When we land in a position of control, it's not uncommon for the student to ask, what can I do from here? What's my submission from here? Where should I go? Where should I attack? So the question of, what can I attack from this position, similar to this, they both come from a place. So we can just say control in general. Control and defense. They come from a place of, I want to say, fear. A big part of it is fear. You want to submit somebody because you want to secure your victory, because you rush to submission. You want to submit somebody because you don't want to be back down on the bottom having to defend. A question that I ask all the time is, if you had 1,000 people, 1,000 people, blue, purple, brown, and black belts, and I put every single one of them on their backs, got another 1,000 people and had them on top, right? Controlling, all more blue, purple, and brown black belts. How many of the people on the bottom, out of those 1,000, would begin attempting to escape from the bottom in the first 20 seconds of being down there? I think 900. I believe 90%, and I think I'm being nice. Okay, people, the moment they land in an inferior position, what comes to mind is not defend, it's get out. Control, same thing. Let's ask another 1,000 people to get in a position of control, side mount or mount, on 1,000 random other people. What percentage, how many of those 1,000 people are going to begin attacking in the first 20 seconds? I think 800, maybe a little bit less, right? When you're controlling, you feel a little more comfortable, so you might wait a little longer to behave and show that you lack patience and comfort. So, people are too much in a hurry to escape the bad position, so they skip defending, and they also skip controlling. They're in a hurry to submit. They don't control long enough. Why not? It's because although they might say that survival is, the objective in how they see, the way that they see Jiu-Jitsu, I think that they see it more that's the plan, that's the final objective. Like the shirt says, you do this, do that, and you get this. People want to submit. They believe that victory is in submitting their opponent. This is not true. Victory is in surviving. Victory is in using only what you need to go home safely, using only what you need to avoid defeat and injury. Even here in the gym, the mindset transfers in the gym to the street to everywhere. So just surviving. Now, like I mentioned, fear. I believe fear is it. If you're on top of somebody and you're afraid of being the bottom of the side mount or the mount, how you're going to behave. You're going to be stiff, right? You're not going to be loose. You won't know how to be open and dynamic. You won't have a good combination of all these controls, because once again, you can't, right? The body, it says a lot. It says a lot about what's going on inside here. And the same thing goes here. If the objective is submission, how much time is somebody going to spend on the bottom of the side mount and mount? Not that much time. They got to get to it. Why am I going to spend 45 seconds defending someone's attacks? I need to get out now so I can begin my attack, because I have to get what I want, which is the submission. Now, I know that everybody is on a different journey, right? There are people, all walks of life, right? All around the world, different ages. Everyone's on a different journey. Some of us can be in a phase right now where you are all about being in the bottom, bad positions, and escaping. You're very fascinated with escape, whether it be passing the guard, escaping the side mount, or the mount. Others might be in a phase of, I just want to have good positional control. I just want to have good defense. Everyone's in different places. Maybe you're an athlete and you're competing in these events, these MMA fights or Jiu-Jitsu events, and you want to be better at forcing your way out of the side mount because you need to rush it because of the clock. You're training for the clock, which maybe there's value there, yes. Or submitting, you have to be able to create or force a submission because your paycheck depends on it. We understand this. We're all on different journeys. But the question I have for you guys is this. If you want to submit somebody, if you really want to submit somebody, if that's the final objective, do you want to have survival as the objective, or do you want to be chasing the submission? That's what I challenge. I believe if you hold survival above everything, you will catch more submissions than if you step on the mat or step into a street fight with defeating the person, submitting them as the goal. That's the challenge. Now, these 4 steps right here, we could say that the defending step is very passive. The escaping step is very active. The control step is very passive. And the submission step is very active. So knowing the difference between passive and active, if you're fighting somebody, it makes sense that the passive steps are the ones that are kind of brushed aside, brushed under the rug. Don't do that, okay? If you land in a position of inferiority, if it's time for you to defend, if you're on the bottom, and you might have the physical attributes to get out when you want, but that's not sustainable. When you land in a position of defense, give defense the time that it deserves. Spend time there. Because the more time you spend defending, and study this, and not studying just anything, study defending submissions way before they happen. Study seeing them, seeing the setup. And then maybe a little bit of the small battles, but not too much when you're in deep, deep trouble. This is not what's important. Maybe 5, 6 years into the journey, okay, fine, a little bit, but this is where it's at right here. And when it comes to escaping, give this time. And the question, and will you be better at escaping if you are better at this? Yes. The more comfortable you are, the less pressure you'll feel to escape. If you're safe, so you will escape when you can, not when you want. When you accept the escape, that's an example of escaping when you can. You accept their mistake. When you're controlling somebody, same as this, give this time. These 2 right here, defend and control, spend more time in those 2. And the same way, if you spend more time here, you'll be better at this. If you spend more time controlling, and you'll be able to because you're comfortable on the bottom. You don't fear falling down, falling off, losing control. If you spend more time controlling, is it possible that you will get more submissions? I believe so. So spend time here. Don't be here thinking, I gotta arm lock the person or I have to choke them. Just be here. Just be here. And just be here, and this will arise. And just be here and accept this when it happens. So that is that's the action step for all of you, is learn to be present, right? No matter where you land, especially in the 2 passive steps, defending and controlling, learn to be present. Just be there. And if you do that, things will start to appear so much more clearly, and you will have more of what you want. You will have more escapes and more submissions. And we know those are the 2 things that everybody wants. And we know that because, like I said, 90% escape too soon, and 80% submit too soon. So I know you want more submissions. I know you want more escapes. And you're gonna get more of those things if you spend more time doing these. Okay? So all we want is for you to do jiu-jitsu forever and do the best jiu-jitsu possible, right? Reach your full potential. And I believe if you bring presence into every position that you land in, right, the sky's the limit. Okay, I'll see you on the mat. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Comment on this video, share it. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much.